What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the R1 build episodes. So today we are going to be addressing the major nasty clutch issue. It's like a 09 to 13, 09 to 14 R1s all come with. Straight from the factory, they have this issue. So when you're letting out the clutch in any gear, usually first, when you're starting out, you'll get super bad shakiness or shudders from the clutch. So what we're going to be doing, replacing one of the clutch plates with another clutch plate. So in a sense, we're actually taking this clutch and making it into like a 07, 08 R1 clutch. It completely fixes the issue. And I know Graves Motorsports, the same brand that made my exhaust, sells the kit, but it's way overpriced. You can get OEM Yamaha parts for like a third of the price. So I'm gonna have links down below of where you can order everything up. But let's get to work, guys. I'll show you exactly what you need to do. I know all you guys are waiting for some exhaust comparison videos and that retuning video to be up, but I still have not got the ECU back. Hoping to get that thing back soon so I can get this bike up and running, so I can get back to work on the FRS and start busting out those build videos as well. But since we are going to be messing with the clutch, we're going to have to drain the oil. You can either drain the oil on this bike, or you can just tip it onto the left side, because we got to pull the clutch cover off. So this bike needs an oil change anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead, drain the oil. I'm going to have a full tutorial coming tomorrow, so make sure you guys go check that out. I'm going to try to come back to this video and link it right up in that corner for you, but if I have not and there's not a link up there, just go to my channel and search R1 oil change video and that will pop right up. You're gonna need these 3 clutch plates, and I'd highly recommend ordering up a clutch cover gasket as well. This is not completely necessary, but I don't want to have to redo this job because the clutch cover is leaking. So I would highly recommend ordering up a clutch cover gasket. So before we do anything, guys, we're gonna go ahead and remove this clutch cable up here. We can push this adjustment all the way in. We need to have those slots lined up. Go ahead, pop the cable off. Now we can go down to the lower part. Also, while that is draining, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this clutch cable. So just grab this 12mm wrench, loosen up the nut. Go ahead, just pop it off just like that. Now on the lever that goes to the clutch cover, there's a little tab. I'm gonna go ahead, bend that tab up, and just pull the cable off. Simple as that. Okay, we are now ready to remove the clutch cover. So it takes a 5mm Allen head. I'm going to be using my impact. If you guys don't have this, just use a 5mm Allen wrench. I like to go in somewhat of a crisscross pattern. And as I'm taking the screws, I'm putting them onto this rag down here. You want to keep them clean. We're also going to have to remove this little lever cover right there with the Torx bit. So let me see what size that is. So that is the T30 Torx bit. Just like that, the cover pops off. I'd recommend putting that in a nice clean area. Grab a rag, set the cover on the rag. And the reason why we had to take this little cover off is because this goes into the clutch cover, and that lever, there's like splines on the shaft that runs down that controls that little push rod right there. From here, I remove these 6 10mm bolts. Some people will opt into replacing the springs right now. I know Graves includes the springs with their kit, but in my opinion, they're not necessary. Now we will be removing the whole clutch pack. You can try to pull it all out at once, or you can remove just plate by plate. But I would recommend grabbing another towel, double it up because there's gonna be some oil coming off of it. And just try to pull the whole pack out at once, along with the pressure plate. There's your little spring seats right here. You don't want to lose those either. We're going to take everything out in order because it needs to go back in the same way. So as you're taking it out, set it down on the ground. I'm just stacking them the same exact way they came out. As you can see, guys, all this looks like it's in excellent condition. Yeah, this bike still had that shuddering issue. It's just something they should fix probably. So as you can see, I got all the plates out. I'm gonna take this last friction plate, set it off to the side because we're gonna be replacing that plate. Now for installing these little discs, we're gonna use the flat one first. So go ahead and open that plate up. This little disc. And this will go in first. Go ahead, slide that on. Now we're gonna take the second disc, and this one's beveled. I'll show you when it comes out. But this is pretty much a spring. So it's cupped in like that, you flip it around, cupped out. And when you install it, you want it cupped out toward you. So go ahead, install it, and the cup is gonna be facing this way, so out toward the bike. Now we're gonna grab our friction plate that we set in our oil. Go ahead, let that drip down a little bit, and now we can install this friction plate into the clutch. It does not matter which way that one goes. Like that. Now we're gonna grab the rest of our clutch pack. We're gonna install it back into the clutch basket. Doing this, you're probably gonna have to do it plate by plate or else you won't get everything lined up. It goes friction and then a steel, friction, steel, back and forth. Just try to get them in the same order that they came out in. All of these ones are in this slot here, this slot here. This plate is gonna sit like that. It's the only plate that sits in that slot there. Install our pressure plate. Get all the spring seats on there if any of them fell off, if you mine did. And go ahead and install the springs and the bolts. All 6 of these bolts are going to go to 7.2 foot-pounds. That converts over to 84 inch-pounds. You can tighten them by hand if you are comfortable, but I would rather just do it right and torque them down. From here we can go ahead and pull off our old gasket, get the new gasket installed. I recommend cleaning up the gasket surface a little bit. Scrape any of the old gasket off if any got stuck on there. Perfect, it's all cleaned up. Grab our new gasket and install it. I'm also going to clean up the clutch cover for the gasket as well. There's a little bit of gunk stuck on it. Go ahead and wipe it down. From here, it is time to install the clutch cover. Arguably, the most difficult thing is trying to get this cover installed with this lever positioned correctly. I wish they made it a little easier to do this, but you pretty much need to get that little shaft inside the cover. So I like to position it like that with the teeth facing the back of the bike and kind of just get the cover up on there, get it wiggled around. But you need to get this lever on to where it needs to be or adjusted properly. So it needs to be facing in. So let's try that. Pretty much what I'm doing, guys, I'm just messing around with it until it looks right. If it is not right, it's not going to affect anything. You just have to go back and readjust it. Well, it will affect anything. Your clutch adjustment will be all messed up. So I take that back. So it looks pretty good there. I want to throw in a bolt or a few bolts here and make sure I have that adjusted properly. Let's go throw on the cable. I'm going to throw it on down here and up top as well. And it looks like I adjusted it too far in. So as you can see, there's all sorts of free play with the clutch. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this lever back, try to get it back one tooth. So I'm just going to mess around with it until I can get the cable back on how it was before without adjusting anything. One thing you guys need to watch out for is to make sure these little heat shields up here do not get caught in when you are tightening this clutch cover down. Okay, looks like we're good to go there. I'm gonna tighten these 2 bolts down, make sure we're good to go. And once again, that little heat shield's caught in here. Get all these bolts in and get these torqued down as well. All of these clutch cover bolts are torqued to about 5 foot-pounds. 5 foot-pounds is virtually nothing, guys. It's very, very little. From here, we can install this little guard with the 2 Torx bolts. Put this clutch cable on all the way, get this nut tightened on, tighten it down with the 12mm wrench. There's this little rubber that goes on there. Go ahead, pop that on there. And then go up top and adjust it to where you have just a very small amount of free play. Before that, I'm gonna wipe down all this oil I have everywhere. Gotta have this thing looking fresh. Just got all new body work on it, so you don't want it oily. Now from here, if you drain the oil, you just gotta put oil back in it. If you tipped it over on its side, just tip it back up and you are done. Go ahead, ride the bike, make sure everything's good, make sure your clutch is adjusted properly, and you are good to go. If you guys enjoyed this video, thought it was super helpful, I know this is a major issue with like 09 to 13, 09 to 14 R1s, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Really hope it helped you out, and I'll see you in the next video. Tomorrow's video is going to be full on oil change tutorial on this very same bike, so if you guys need help with changing an oil, I'll show you how that's done. See you then.